Since the dawn of human consciousness, one question has haunted every civilization, every philosopher, every scientist, and every believer. Who created God? Is there something, or someone, beyond the very being we call the Creator? Or is God, by definition, uncreated, the eternal, self-existent foundation of everything that ever was or will be? For thousands of years, humans have looked up at the stars and down into the atoms, searching for the origin of it all. Religion told us that God created the universe. Science told us that the universe began with a bang, but neither could fully answer the question that lies underneath both beliefs. Why does anything exist at all? When ancient philosophers in Greece tried to understand the beginning of existence, they spoke of the uncaused cause. Aristotle called it the prime mover, something that set everything into motion but was itself unmoved. Centuries later, theologians adopted this idea and called it God, but this explanation, while poetic, raised another question. If God is the first cause, what caused God? Some argue that asking who created God is like asking what's north of the North Pole. The question itself misunderstands the concept. God, they say, exists outside of time and space, the very fabric of cause and effect. Before time began, there was no before, there was only existence itself, eternal, infinite, unchanging. But the human mind struggles with infinity. Our brains are wired to think in beginnings and endings. We see life start, we see it end. We see stars born and stars die. So when we hear that God has always existed, it feels impossible. Yet in the realm of physics, something similar happens. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only transforms. If energy is eternal, could consciousness be eternal too? Could what we call God be not a person, but the infinite consciousness from which energy itself emerged? Like the ocean giving rise to waves, maybe existence itself gives rise to gods, galaxies, and us, temporary expressions of something that never began and will never end. The universe, according to modern cosmology, began about 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang. But the Big Bang didn't happen in space. It created space. It didn't happen in time. It created time. So if time and space began with the universe, what existed before? Some physicists suggest there was nothing, but that nothing might not be the absence of everything. It could be a quantum field, a timeless sea of potential, waiting for a spark to ignite reality. Others propose that the universe is cyclical, endlessly expanding, collapsing, and rebirthing itself. In such a universe, there is no beginning or end, only transformation. And if this is true, the question who created God might be replaced by what if God is the cycle itself? Throughout history, humans have tried to name the unknowable. To some, God is a personal being who listens, judges, and loves. To others, God is the totality of all laws of nature, the intelligence behind the code of existence. Albert Einstein once said, "I believe in Spinoza's God, who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists." To him, God wasn't an entity, but the essence of reason itself, the mathematics of the cosmos. Every time we discover a new layer of the universe, we find more questions than answers. What we once attributed to divine power, science explains through natural laws. But even as we advance, the origin of those laws, the reason they exist at all, remains a mystery. Why does math work? Why does anything exist instead of nothing? The more we learn, the more it feels as if reality itself is a kind of divine code. A simulation, perhaps, not run on computers, but on consciousness itself. So maybe God isn't outside the universe, watching from above. Maybe God is within every particle, every atom, every photon. The awareness that experiences itself through creation. And maybe you are part of that awareness. If you're still here, take a moment. Look around you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought is part of an unbroken chain that began long before humanity, and it might continue long after the last star fades. So, who created God? Maybe God never needed to be created. Maybe God is creation, eternal, infinite, and always becoming. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more cosmic explorations, and press the bell icon, because next, we'll go even deeper into the mystery of existence itself.